take a walk on the wild side. Tomatoes. Comfrey. Those are Canterbury bells. Had to think. Those are hibiscus. Back along the fence is butternut squash. That's a pepper. These are carrots coming up. And a tomato. And more tomatoes. These are beans over here. Sorry about spinning you around. Those are carrots going to bloom so that I'll have more seed. That's a Cherokee purple tomato in there. More beans. More tomatoes over here and that's chard. And more tomatoes and more tomatoes. And some peppers. And a tomato. Over here we have squash. And there's some nasturtiums coming up down here. But that's the squash. This is the Cherokee tan pumpkin. And it has spread tremendously. Wow. It's going everywhere. That is a wild hollyhock right there. And it's so tall. It's probably about 12 feet tall. Look at this Cherokee tan. Wow, it's all the way over here. And still going. Holy cow. You're going to have to go someplace else. Wow. The green stalk is doing good. Has lettuces and some flowers and some parsley and some celery. Mostly lettuce over here. Some sage. A pepper, a tomato plant. And some celery. That one's doing good. These are sweet potatoes. And wow, has everything grown? Holy cow, the daylilies are getting ready to bloom. They're getting their buds. A whole bunch of them. Those are the kind you can eat. Those are ostrich ferns, fiddle leaf ferns. Down here we have moonflowers, and on the other side we have moonflowers. And here we have some kind of a pumpkin or cantaloupe or something, some nasturtiums, some sunflowers, chives, lettuce, cantaloupes coming up right there. There's some nasturtiums. There's a sweet potato back there. It's kind of a little bit of everything. Over here we have the grapes. They're doing really nice. And we have more cucumbers there. And more cucumbers down here. And over there. And more grapes. And more grapes. This is the oregano, which I warned you about. This is spinach coming up in here. Lots of little spinaches. Those are not parsnips. They're the radishes, daikon radishes. They're great for breaking up the soil, and that's why they're there. The beans are climbing. The tomatoes are blooming a lot with the copper wires around them. They have more blooms and tomatoes on them than the others. So I must say that they are really impressing me just from the copper wire. It's really weird. But you can see the copper wire is just wrapped around it. And what a difference it seems to be making. It's looking really good. Look at all the blooms and all the tomatoes. There's tomatoes everywhere on this thing. So I'm pleased with the results. And this is the other side. And that's what we have is, if I can get past that leaf, wait a minute. There we go. This is the other side. You can see it's spindly. They're all spindly. And the ones over here with the copper are bigger and lusher. So I'm sold on that. I planted some over here. And some peppers down here. And over that way. And we have peppers back here. Hopefully it'll be a good pepper year. And nasturtiums are just blooming like crazy. See all those blooms? Bananas are getting taller. We got some flowers and weeds coming up here. Haven't figured out which ones are which. I'll figure it out eventually. Once they get to a certain size, I know what they are. Got some petunias out here. Blueberries, we've been eating them. I picked a ton of them. These are almost ready. They're looking good. There's not very many on these over here. And the birds have gotten some, like, where is it? Right there. Birds kind of annihilated that one. But there's plenty more. The other bushes have lots. They're older. This is some squash and melons, tomatoes on the other side. More melons and squash all the way down. And lots over there in buckets. And let's go around and take a look at the zucchini and see how it's coming along. I do believe I saw some zucchinis on it. And yes, I see. It's either squash or zucchini. It's getting there. Got both male and female flowers. Yeah, I've got both squash and zucchini back here. And melons. Because there's plenty of room for them to go all the way over to that fence and up and around, and they always do. There's plenty of space. We've had a lot of rain. Got some moonflowers coming up right down in there. And on this other one, there's quite a few of them coming up there. The beans are on that back fence. They're just starting to climb. They got a ways to go yet. These are some peppers, a big Zac tomato that's kind of stifled. I've got some other big Zacs that we just visited back in the back in buckets. These are some more melons, more tomatoes, more tomatoes, more tomatoes. We like tomatoes. Some flowers. And over here, we have more melons, and all the way back it's just melons and mostly. beans along this fence on both sides. Some more melons or whatever, cantaloupes. That is catnip. This is celery coming up in clumps, big clumps. And a few onions that are going to seed. Those are the onions I didn't pull last year. Got a couple little tomato plants down here. What are you doing in the strawberries? Are you eating strawberries? You getting those strawberries? The strawberries. Sherry put plenty of kaolin clay on them. This is the asparagus in the strawberry patch. And some garlic. And those tall things right there are cattails. That's an Egyptian walking onion. More tomatoes. And more cucumbers back there. Cabbage is underneath there. Has to have the shade cloth. And kaolin clay. These are the blueberries I've been picking. And there's still a bunch. And some of them are even ready now. A whole lot of them are. But I'll wait another day or so. Good grief. I think a chicken's mad. Alright, guys. That's it for now. Catch you later.